Filipino sisters make their mark globally for efforts to protect the environment and promote sustainable tourism. Anne and Nillie Dumaliang were recognized in U.S. magazine Vanity Fair's Travel Awards. Let's find out more from Anne, project manager and trustee of Masungi Georeserve. Anne, thank you so much for joining us. Share with us first about Masungi Georeserve. Why is it a place for sustainable tourism?
Well, Masungi Georeserve really has a long history. The conservation efforts that are being done inside started all the way back in 1996. So in 2016, when we opened, what people really find aren't just rope courses or trails, but really something that is a product of 20 years of hard work and love. I guess that's what makes the place very special. In addition to being able to commune with nature, learn more about the environment, it's really a symbol of hope that we can do more and that there's a chance to restore our forests.
And of course, this Vanity Fair Award, Anne, really gives Philippine economic conservation a louder voice on the international stage.
Yes, we're happy to be given the chance to represent the country on such a large stage and to be giving ecotourism and conservation a voice to that extent. Conservationists, people who really do tourism for conservation. We go through such a difficult time. The last year has been filled with so much environmental opportunism. And in the Philippines in particular, the funding gap goes up to 80% for conservation. And so we're so grateful to have this opportunity to give a voice to conservationists and ecotourism, geotourism practitioners in the Philippines. Hopefully it gives everyone more hope of what we can do for the Philippines and how far we can take conservation.
So how are you financing your conservation efforts, Anne?
Our conservation efforts are really largely financed by the trails that we run. We're happy to have grown to be able to support our operations in that way. Even if we had about 9 months of no tourism because of the pandemic, we're really fortunate to have been able to save up enough and to have enough support really from our community of visitors to just keep on going and to, just be able to refocus our manpower, our efforts towards conservation. It's a big deal for us and we're really proud that we didn't have to lay off any of our rangers during this period, and we were a team that really stuck together during the most difficult times to do more for conservation.
What are still the threats to your Georeserve?
Oh, threats. I'm glad you asked. Last year, in February 2020, we were surprised to find out that certain segments of our conservation site were fenced out by a quarry operator. So apparently, there were illegal mining agreements that were granted onto the reforestation site and onto the Upper Marikina watershed that shouldn't have happened. And it apparently spans about 1,500 hectares of the reforestation area. The Masungi reforestation site is just about 2,700 hectares. So imagine what a huge chunk of it will be taken out. And these mining agreements are bound to be renewed by 2023. So we're assuming that they're putting in a lot of efforts, to lobby or to be able to start in the next coming years. We're calling for government to really put a stop to this and to have these quarry permits canceled. In addition to that, land grabbers, only last year we had about 5 different land grabbers experience, really trying to claim about 100 hectares to 500 hectares worth of land that they shouldn't be claiming for themselves. That's completely illegal. And currently, a company called Rublo and Green Atom are still present on site and still being a threat to our rangers on the ground. So this is still a challenge that we're yet to overcome. And we're looking forward to working with all sectors to make sure that Masungi is protected for the years to come.
But do you have enough support from the private and the government sectors to help you and protect the Georeserve from all of these threats?
To be honest, if we're talking about the movement around Masungi and the watershed, we're really very inspired with the amount of help and support we're getting from the civil sector organizations and even from private groups. It's really turned into a groundswell, and so many people have actually gotten on board. We've recently launched an Upper Marikina Watershed Coalition just last March 3, and we can't wait to give a bigger voice, a more consolidated voice of people who are, will be calling for, to have these threats in Masungi and the entire watershed addressed. We're happy to be in collaboration with several sectors of government to be able to put pressure in making these happen. We hope to hear more really from the Mines and Geosciences Bureau and the DNR when it comes to getting these illegal activities controlled once and for all, because they are, in fact, the agency that has the capacity to get this done.
Are you still planning to expand your conservation efforts around Masungi?
Yes, in 2017, actually, Secretary Gina Lopez engaged us to restore some 2,700 hectares of land around Masungi Georeserve. This is currently the place that is under threat. And so this is what we're very much busy with, rewilding and restoring the forests around Masungi. And hopefully this really, serves as an inspiration for more restoration works to happen and for more collaborations with the private sector to happen for conservation.
We thank you for joining us on The Final Word and protecting our environment. Nillie Dumaliang, Project Manager and Trustee of the Masungi Georeserve.